It's Mike Richter, and today I'm going to tell you a little bit about an experience I had over the weekend where one of my friends had asked me what my family does to deal with kids' birthday presents and Christmas presents. And I wanted to share with you what we had shared with our friends. Now, basically, let me go ahead and give you an overview of what we did to come up with our system. Well, first, we had to identify some problems that we saw with some of the gift giving practices that we had in our childhood. Was the oldest of three children, and my wife was a single, an only child rather. And so the way that we saw gift giving was very different because our experiences were really different. I grew up very poor, and my wife grew up at more or less middle class. So our experiences were very different. So we wanted to address things like fairness and how do we keep up with times and how do we teach our kids something about money and handling resources in the process, because gift giving is great and it's a really important part of the children growing up, but we wanted to put something more to it. And another thing is we had to go ahead and figure out what are the things that we're looking to achieve with our system. What did we want to teach the children, and how can we create a system that would teach the children those things? So I'll tell you a little bit about our solution. Basically, it comes down to giving the kids $5 times their years of age. And I'll tell you a little bit about our results. So first off, we really wanted to deal with the fairness issue. And we figured that if we can find something that scales with their children's ages, and we kept that consistent for each of the children, provided that inflation didn't get too crazy throughout the process, that would be a really fair system for the children throughout their years growing up. That way there wouldn't be too much jealousy among the siblings. Thankfully, the two children that we have are 14 months apart, so really they're only different by about $5 in the way that we crafted our system. We also wanted to address the issue of desire on a regular basis. When we go shopping, it's very common for the children to say, oh, I want this, I want that. Now they're earning their own money, so that's less of an issue. But as they were younger, something that we did was there were certain things in the solution that allowed us to give them that flexibility to deal with it. And another thing we wanted to tackle was impulse control when it came to spending. A lot of what gets people into financial trouble is the fact that they can't handle the advertisements or the things that are getting them to buy stuff from them. So they end up buying on impulse, and we wanted to teach our children from a very young age to control their spending impulses. So what else were we trying to achieve? Basically, we wanted to teach them resource management. So we said, hey, you have a certain amount of money, that's what you have to deal with, and once it's gone, it's gone. And we wanted to make sure that our system also had incentives for them to delay gratification. That was another very important thing for us, because it's important not only to just look at whether or not they can deal with impulses, but it's important for them to have the idea of looking at something in the future that they really want and being willing to wait to achieve something better than what they can achieve in the here and now based on their current resources. And we also wanted to teach them the concept of compound interest. So those were the problem sets and the goals that we set out to achieve before we came up with the solution to the problem. And basically the solution was, for each birthday and each Christmas, each of the children would receive $5 per year of age with a minimum amount of $25. Now, what you choose to do is all up to you and your family and your finances and your budget, but we had intentionally chosen in our family to go with $5 per year of age, and we just decided to keep that constant. We could afford to do more, we could do less, but we figured that that would be a very easy number to scale with over time. And the stipulation was they could spend it on anything they wish, within reason, like anything that was age appropriate to them. Right now, my children are 6 and 5 respectively, and we really don't want them chewing gum. So we really don't encourage them to purchase packs of gum because my daughter went ahead and cut off a piece of her hair because she had gotten a bunch of gum stuck in it. And prior to cutting off that piece of hair that had the gum stuck in it, she had never had her hair cut. So she had long, flowing, beautiful hair, and she had to cut it because of that. And that was really unfortunate. So that's why we put some limitations on how they spend it. Now, we also, to give them flexibility to take advantage of certain things that they might see in the here and now that they may not be able to take advantage of later, we allow them to spend their birthday or their Christmas money up to a month in advance. But they do not get to enjoy that thing until the day of. So if it's right after Thanksgiving and Black Friday is going on and we see something on Amazon for Cyber Monday or whatnot, and they're really interested and it's a good deal, we allow them to make the purchase. We make sure that they pay the taxes on any items that they purchase. And from there, when it gets delivered to us, we let them know, hey, here it is, but you get to have it on Christmas Day. Now, in our family, we also have a tradition that you can open one present on midnight of Christmas Eve. So if they wanted to do that, that was perfectly fine too. Or they could choose one of their grandparents' presents that they got. Another thing that we wanted to make sure to do is to encourage investing or to look for compound interest. So one of the things that we implemented in the system is if they held on to any amount of money from their spending money for their birthday or their Christmas for a full year, so from Christmas to Christmas, we would go ahead and give them a 100% return for any money that was left over from that event, and a 50% return of anything that went from a birthday to a Christmas. Now, if our kids happen to have birthdays in May and July, so it's far enough from Christmas that it makes sense to give a 50% return on that, but your children may have birthdays right there by Christmas or right in New Year's or November, so you might want to look at a 6-month waiting period for that 50% return if you choose to implement a system that's very similar to this for your family. So the cool thing about this is that it gives them the opportunity to save up for something bigger for longer. Now, thankfully, my children haven't caught up with the scheme yet to know to save now, and then Dad will have to buy a car for them later with this money because of the 100% return on investment every single year. Because I don't get 100% return on investment on my investments, but I want to make sure that I incentivize it for them so they can learn the concept before they start investing themselves. So we talked a little bit about the problem, what we set out to achieve, what our solution was, and let's go ahead and talk about results. We've had this program going for about 2 years. So when my son was 3, this is when we started it. And after 2 years, we have not had a single complaint about presents. They understand that once the money is gone, it's gone, or if they want to save, they can save. What's really cool about it is starting this year, my daughter actually decided to look at a product that she wanted. She saw it in the store, and she said, hey, I can't afford this with my money for her birthday, but I wonder if I could save money by purchasing it another way. And what she wanted was a bike. And the previous week, her brother had gotten a bike. And so she got into her mind that she really wants a bike. Because apparently, even though he was 14 months younger than her, he learned how to ride the bike first. So she got jealous and decided that she wants to ride a bike too. And from there, she was looking at different ways to get a bike less than what it had cost for her brother to get one. So what we ended up doing was we taught her about yard sales as she's been growing up, and she saw a yard sale as we were looking at a property, and she said, hey Dad, can we go ahead and stop? I see 6 or 7 bikes. Maybe there's one that I can get. And so we went, we stopped by, and we managed to get the bike at a significant discount over what she was looking to pay for that bike. And she's been loving it ever since. So I'm getting to see some of the return on this resource management aspect of the system that we've implemented. Another cool thing is my son decided to take advantage of a match. He decided to only spend $20 for Christmas this year, and he managed to get an extra $5, or rather an extra $2.50 because he had $5 left over. So he had an extra $2.50. So his next birthday, he managed to save up. Instead of having a $30 payday, he now has a $37.50 payday. And he really saw the advantage of doing that. So I'm very curious to see how the children are going to react to that in the future. And I see the wheels turning where they are starting to see the power of compound interest. Now, something I'm kind of afraid of, but not really excited about at the same time, is I imagine around the time they get to be about 10 years old, they may end up starting to use this to their advantage in a big way. I mean, think about it. If you're 10 and you get $50 for your birthday and $50 for Christmas, that's $100. Okay, so that's not much. It can get you a video game and a couple of small things, but what could it do if you let it stay over a period of years? Well, that 100 becomes 200, and if you combine it with that $110 that you would get naturally, you'd then have 310, and then that would double to 620, and then you'd have the additional $120 coming, and it just snowballs very quickly for them. So I plan on living up to my end of the bargain because we're doing very well in real estate as a family, and we want to make sure that they learn those concepts because it's important to us. You might decide to limit the match to a 1 year period of time because the compound interest over years may be a little bit overwhelming, but however you decide to do it, it's a matter of what you decide to do for you and your family. So just to recap the system real quick, the problem was we wanted to make sure that fairness was achieved and that no matter how many more children we had, I'm only 32 right now and my wife is 33, so we still would love to have more children if possible. So we want to make sure to have a system that can stand the test of time and the test of years. We also wanted to make sure that as that went on, that our children were learning about finance and learning about resource management. And we wanted them to know about compound interest and in investing. And most importantly, the delayed gratification piece. And once again, the solution was to have a $5 times year of age for each birthday and each Christmas. And that's worked out really well for us and has brought us a lot of success, a lot of learning opportunities, which is really important. And it seems like it could be a lot of money over time, but really a lot of families are spending much more on their children as far as gifts. So what you decide to do is up to you. Now, if you like this video, if you would do me a favor, I'd really appreciate it if you can give the video a thumbs up and take some time to subscribe. If you have any questions about how we've implemented this system or how we introduce this to our kids, I'd love to tell you more at future times. If you have any questions for us, go ahead and leave it in the comment section below, and I'll do my best to answer it as quickly as I can. Thanks for your time. I hope you have a fantastic day.